Hi, we're here with Olivier Gillerot from Accenture. Accenture did a report on the EBS future trends and statistics based on skills and growth. Can you please tell us a little bit about the publication you came out with today, and what were the statistics? What were your results?
Yeah, okay, yes, indeed. So Accenture made a study about skills for growth on behalf of the European Business Summit here today. And basically the report starts on identifying two key paradoxes. And the first paradox is the fact that unemployment is still rising in Europe, but at the same time the number of vacancies in Europe is also rising. And so we have also a kind of statistic that says that 43% of the 500 companies that were asked for a question during for that report, they responded that actually they have a shortage of certain specific skills. And so the second paradox that you see appearing in the report is the fact that indeed also 85% of the companies, of the respondents to the study, said that in the last year they cut their budgets in terms of skills development, human capital development. And so if you combine both of those two paradoxes, the consequence is that less and less the right skills will be available in Europe to generate and to fuel the growth. And so what are the recommendations then that are behind that? Because this is good to see. So you see that indeed there's a mismatch between the availability of resources and the skills that are required. And somehow there's an urgency to resolve that mismatch. And so what could we do? So the first recommendation that we do to address this mismatch is to go and identify untapped skills pools that still exist. And so today, what are those skill pools? First of all, you have 23 million unemployed people. And above that, you have 15 million people that are not actively looking for a job, but that do have skills that could be used and that could be tapped on just to generate the growth. So we think about youth, we think about women that could increase their participation in the workforce, and also retired people. And so if you look, for instance, at the retired people, companies could start acting upon making a career or reactivating their career attractive and trying to recuperate indeed the skills that they have built up over 40 years of career, to reuse those ones to the benefit of the companies and the growth within those companies. The second way is about mobility. The second recommendation about mobility. You see that still in our statistics that we demonstrated in our report are showing that companies are looking within their own company to fill in the skill shortages, but not outside their company, certainly not outside their country and so far. So you see that there's really a mobility issue of skills and competences within Europe. So one could say that indeed the European market for goods and services exists, but the common market for services, for competencies, doesn't exist yet. And so we need to work on that, and we need indeed, companies need to work on that, governmental agencies, policy makers need to work on increasing the mobility, increasing, for instance, also the recognitions of skills within Europe. And then the third part is, of course, everybody needs to start working together. People are working every single in the silo to try to resolve his own issue within a company, within a country. But there's absolutely necessity to people work together and join forces in addressing this issue. For instance, universities need to be much closer to the businesses to understand what exactly skills are required, so that the efficiency and the effectiveness of the education within universities or in high schools would be increased towards what is exactly necessary as skills. Another aspect of working together is big companies having contacts and leveraging other companies within the supply chain, the suppliers or the clients, etc. So if they have an overflow of employees, why don't they send them and ask them at their suppliers to take over some of their employees, and getting more easily addressing this mismatch actually of skills and resources.
Thank you. I want to touch upon a little bit of the third point that you mentioned. Today we saw the signing of Hyundai with the youth program that they've signed with the European Joint Research Youth Program. And what their aim is that they want to get, like you said, the youth involved in the corporate structure, seeing how it is in practice, so they can get ready to get the skills later on. But I think my question is that, do you see, the money that they're investing is more in the youth. When I'm saying the youth is before universities. You got to get the kids when they were younger so they can get introduced to it, so when they get to university. So basically it's a grassroots, but it will take longer for the return of investment. Do you see companies actually are willing to do this? Because of course they want a short-term kind of return as opposed to long-term. So what do you see the trend in companies for that issue?
No, I think of course the issue that we are facing with skills today in Europe is very important to address urgently. So first of all, we need some actions that have an immediate impact. But of course, the change must be structural. And indeed, we need to ensure that there's a complete mindset shift also, and so that kids are confronted and interested in the skills that are really required. And so I think an initiative just like the one that you just mentioned is excellent, is very good. We should promote that because it will increase, by the way, also it's the efficiency of the schooling system, of the education, because the kids will know, okay, for me it's important. Indeed, I understand the importance of studying or if having an education in technical matters. And so the effectiveness, their interest for those studies will be higher. So they will be more interested, more engaged, and they will finish university or school with the right skills and competences that will be needed in the workplace. So it's a combination of urgent actions, but at the same time structural actions to change the mindset actually of all the parties involved in the skills matter.
Great, and thank you. For the final question, I would like to touch upon a little bit of what I saw in the report itself. It said that if Europe doesn't answer these calls, that what the statistics show, your report shows, in the future, then there will be less in demand, a reduction in demand, and higher unemployment. Do you see that Europe is actually answering this call for more synergy between private, public cooperation, and how do you see Europe reacting to this crisis?
Okay, I think a day like this one, the European Business Summit, where this issue about skills is put forward and putting high in the agenda, is indicative actually of, first of all, everybody is aware of the situation, everybody is aware that action is needed, there's a sense of urgency. And now indeed in the coming weeks, in the coming months, we will see how the different actors will start to move and continue those initiatives. And so I'm confident indeed that the various actors are conscious of the need to react and to work on skills, to work on those three dimensions that I mentioned, and indeed now we need to continue, we need to be reinforced, and for sure when policymakers at European level will provide also the right environment and the right to execute that will be an encouragement for companies to go further with taking initiatives and being creative in providing flexibility to their workers, flexibility to apprenticeship for younger generation, flexibility for work schedules and flexible work schedules for women that would like to reintegrate the workforce, and so far.